Hello, we are going to be imagining we are going to the beach today with this 3D beach bucket cake. Everything you see here is edible, including the sand, the seashells, the bucket itself. Don't be intimidated, the methods to make this are actually really very simple, so let's dive right in. We'll make the fondant seashells first because I want those to dry overnight. I'm going to be using this peach and this really hot bright pink fondant and just marbling them together. I want these colors to be marbled, not mixed fully, so I'm going to stop kneading them when I can still see both of them kind of swirled together like this. I'm using shortening to grease up my mold for a really easy fondant release when I make all these seashells, especially the small one with little points. It's pretty easy and simple. You just press them in and then pop them out. The flexible silicone really helps with release, as does the shortening. The fondant I'm working with today is from liqua-gel. I absolutely love the pliability and the colors that these come in. If you're wanting to make your own fondant at home, you can find my easy recipe on my website and my channel here. liqua-gel was very kind to send me a bunch of their colors to use, so I'll be using theirs today. But both work very well for this. I also marbled some purple with the peach to get some deeper colors. And then I marbled peach, pink, purple, and white fondant all together to tie all the colors in. Once again, just coat each part of your mold with some shortening for easy release. Take a small piece of fondant, press it in, and then bend the mold to release them. Once I have all my seashells that I need, I'm going to use liqua-gel's Luster Dust. It's fully FDA approved edible, which is great, in both pink champagne and lilac to give these a little bit of a sheen. I just love how shimmery the pink and purple look together like this. Let these dry overnight. To save a little time, I've already stacked my cake for the most part. I'm using 3 6-inch layers and 1 5-inch layer, but you could definitely start with them all the same size diameter cake layers and just do a little bit more carving. I'm using a sharp serrated knife to carve it into a tapered shape where the top of the cake is widest and the bottom is narrowest. If you've seen my Alice in Wonderland unbirthday cake video, this is the exact same concept. And if you've seen any of my Barbie or doll cake videos, we're kind of doing an upside down version of that. I know it goes without saying, but please be mindful of where your opposite hand is when you're cutting. I like to freeze my cake layers after I bake them so they are nice and solid when I stack them and carve them. It helps keep the crumbs to a minimum as well. We're starting with the crumb coat, which is a thin layer of buttercream frosting. This also helps serve to trap the crumbs and keep them from the outer decorating layer. I am using a little bit of a thicker crumb coat on this cake in particular though. Your crumb coat doesn't need to be perfect, of course, because it'll be covered by the outer layer. However, with carved cakes or 3D cakes like this, it is okay to use a little bit more buttercream than you usually would. You really want to get that shape nice and smooth so it's ready for your outer layer. It's difficult to see from this straight on angle, however, I am holding my metal scraper at a slightly outward angle, just following the slope of the cake that I have created by carving the layers. Fill in any gaps here with some more buttercream and then smooth again. Then I'm just going to level and even out the top by using my angled offset spatula to very gently pull in the buttercream from the outer edge in toward the middle of the cake where you can pull it away. This crumb-coated cake will now go into my fridge for 20 to 30 minutes to get fully set and chilled. Here it is after being in the fridge, and we'll move to our outer layer. You'll see my crumb coat is pretty thick on this cake, and that's totally okay. Again, like I said, I really wanted to make sure it was smooth and I got the shape how I wanted it. And then with the outer layer, just like any other cake, whether it's carved in 3D or not, we are just going to follow the shape of the cake and make sure it's fully covered with the buttercream. You can find all my cake recipes as well as my vanilla buttercream frosting recipe at my website at customcakesandcupcakes.com. My buttercream recipe is also on my channel here as well. The color I've chosen here is Turquoise by Chef Master, and you will see why I chose this color in a moment. Once again, smoothing it with my scraper. I do prefer metal scrapers to plastic or other materials because I can heat them up under hot running water or with a kitchen torch, and this really helps to smooth and even out the buttercream frosting. And lastly, just like with the crumb coat layer, we are going to use the angled offset spatula to pull in any excess buttercream from the edge in toward the center to get a nice even flat top. This cake is going back into the fridge while I work on some other aspects. This beautiful turquoise fondant is also from liqua-gel, and it happened to match the Chef Master turquoise I use in my buttercream perfectly, which actually worked out really well here because I need to make a upper lip or ridge. This is the Wilton fondant ribbon cutter. It is really handy if you need a nice straight ribbon or a piece of fondant. I'm using about 1.5 inch spacer on this. Here is our nice chilled cake from the fridge, and around the top edge I'm just brushing a little bit of water to help our fondant stick. I'm wrapping the top piece around the top edge just like this and just pressing in to secure it to the cake. Around the back, I'll just make sure the seams match up and then add a little bit of water to connect everything together. Our bucket needs a handle, of course, so this white fondant, also from liqua-gel, was the perfect shade. I'm using the fondant ribbon cutter again to cut a smaller piece here. And then a little brush of water on either side of the cake is what we'll use to connect it. And we're just going to connect one side, drape it over the cake, and then connect the other side. And then if you can imagine, those little kids' plastic sand buckets always have those grommets on either side where the handle attaches, so I'm using the white and the turquoise with some circle cutters to create those. And those will also be attached with a little brush of water right where the handle meets the top right there. I wanted to give it a little sparkle. This is liqua-gel's Tinker Dust in this handy pump in turquoise color. It's very sparkly and shimmery and totally edible, which is a really fun touch. My recipe for edible sand is actually really easy and really quick, and of course totally edible. It is just a 1-to-1 ratio of brown sugar to graham cracker crumbs. You can crunch up your own graham crackers, or you can buy them already in crumbs, of course, and then just mix it together. The brown sugar is nice because it makes it kind of moldable. I can kind of press it and place it where I want. And the graham cracker crumbs are nice because the color and texture look a lot like sand. This part's easy. Just scoop it and place it right on top here. I wanted it to look like the bucket was overflowing with sand, so the sand is actually going to be higher than the top edge. You can just scoop it on with a spoon or a spatula, and then also use it to kind of push it to the edge and cover the whole top of the cake and get it where you want. To give it a sun-kissed, sparkly look, I'm using Peach Tinker Dust, also from liqua-gel, just spraying a little bit on top. And then remember those purple and pink and peach seashells that we made way at the beginning? They are all dried and hardened and ready to be added to our bucket. And for some more bright pops of color, these Krazy Sprinkles rainbow shapes mix, also from liqua-gel, was a really fun touch to add to the sand as well. And unfortunately, when I was creating the pile of sand at the front of the cake, my camera card had filled up, so my camera stopped recording when I didn't realize it. But I did the same thing. I just used a spatula and kind of scooped it in front of the cake and pressed it to the side of the cake how I wanted to. We added some seashells and sprinkles to the front sand pile here, and this is what the final look is. This cake was a ton of fun. I love making cakes that are somewhat realistic and also very colorful. What would you add to your beach bucket cake? Let me know in the comments, and thanks so much for watching. Here are a couple of videos that YouTube thinks you should see next.